What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video, and I had to talk about this topic because I think Twitter is one of those places that you'll see people legitimately say some of the dumbest things because they have no idea what they're talking about. I mean, I know, crazy concept, right? And one of the funniest things that I came across the other day, shout outs to my boy GK, and also shout outs to Colin Moriarty on Twitter for pointing this out. And while I don't care about the overall type of sales and what does better than what or anything like that, all I'm worried about is that developers do well, games sell well, and this industry that we're all in continues to do well. That's all I care about. I don't care if one thing outsells another thing, but it's just so funny how many people, instead of just using the internet, right? We're all on the internet and we can all research things. Instead of just using that, they sit there and make excuse after excuse and make bad point after bad point and make up stuff after bad stuff about things when it comes to Animal Crossing sales versus all of the major PlayStation 4 exclusives, mostly first-party exclusives from Sony. So if you didn't hear the news, or if you're living underneath the news rock, Animal Crossing New Horizons is selling like no other game before for Nintendo, at least on the Nintendo Switch. Animal Crossing New Horizons, in its first 6 weeks, has sold 13.4 million plus, and still going. We got the past 2 week sales numbers for Japan, and this game is continuing to sell like 200,000 plus units each week. It's absolutely killing it, and that doesn't even include digital, which Nintendo did say that the game has a 50% digital attach ratio, which is the highest in the Switch era for any game that's also retail. There's many factors for Animal Crossing New Horizons doing as well as it's doing. The fact that fans have waited so long. I think the pandemic that's going on, people are inside a lot. You can hold virtual meetings and things like that in Animal Crossing. There's a ton of reasons why, but some of the excuses that some of these hardcore Sony dudes are doing to justify their hardcore, at this point, $10 to $15 games being outsold by a full-priced Animal Crossing game that didn't have anywhere near the type of, I wouldn't say online hype, because the online hype for Animal Crossing was there, but you know, people kind of hype up Sony exclusives to a degree that's we don't see too much, like too often, except for like a couple Nintendo exclusives here and there, but people always look at the de facto, this is the game to play, you know? So it's just funny, the excuses that some people are making for Animal Crossing, literally crushing every single PlayStation exclusive, with the exception of Uncharted, but to be honest, it's going to pass up Uncharted very soon here, just because Uncharted 4 isn't really selling like that anymore, and Animal Crossing is doing gangbusters everywhere, so it's pretty much outsold every single PlayStation exclusive within the first couple months, and you know, some of those games have been out for years now, and the PlayStation 4 has an install base of 110 million plus, compared to the install base of about 55, 56 million for the Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and get into some of these tweets here, and I'm not going to be showing any of the names. I will have a link to it, but I just found it funny, you know, and that's why I wanted to go over it. No shots at Colin Moriarty either. Colin, if you want to be on the show one of these days, be more than happy to have you on. But here's what he had to say on Twitter. PlayStation 4's best-selling exclusives are Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Spider-Man, God of War, The Last of Us Remastered, Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo Sport. In 6 weeks, Animal Crossing New Horizons outsold all of them save Uncharted 4, which will surpass in a few weeks. Now, Colin's usually known as a PlayStation dude. He did used to work for IGN, the PlayStation team, and that's where he gained all of his, or not all of his, but most of his notoriety was through that PlayStation Beyond podcast, which I used to listen to back in the day, and it was entertaining with Greg Miller, the kind of funny guys and all that stuff. So he's doing well on his own, so shout outs to him for that. But I wanted to get to some of these comments, man, because these are just absolutely hilarious. Let's take a look at this one right here. There's one that says, isn't this because the PlayStation 4 has a variety of different kinds of games? Doesn't Switch only have these colorful, child-friendly games? There doesn't seem much variety there. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, all you had to do is like literally just look up like mature rated Switch games, and like it just pulls up like Skyrim, it pulls up Doom, it pulls up Wolfenstein, it pulls up all these games. Heck, The Witcher 3. I mean, there's just so many games that makes this just blatantly false. If you just did just a tiny, just a single shred of research, this would just be disproved that the Switch has a wide variety of different types of games games, whether it's mature games and not just child-friendly, colorful games. That's not the reason why Animal Crossing is doing better, because it only has these type of games. That doesn't even make sense if he was trying to, even if that was the case. Like, what the heck? So let's continue on here. We got another comment. I think this one's very interesting because this guy turns into a Twitter psychiatrist. Does he have his PhD in douchebaggery here? So let's go and let's take a look into this one. He says, it's probably due to the bevy of 20 to 40-year-olds that have severe depression and anxiety and no sense of self-purpose, looking for anything to express themselves and feel achievement in doing so, and to belong to a wider community, plus a pandemic creating isolation for them. So a bevy of 20 to 40-year-olds that have severe depression and anxiety and no sense of self-purpose. How can you honestly, like with a straight face, which, he might be joking around here, he might not be, but by his comments, like him responding to people, he's actually serious. How would you be able to diagnose depression, clinically diagnose with depression, or even suggest that based off of somebody playing a video game, based off of somebody simply wanting to play a video game, an Animal Crossing video game? I find that to be absolutely ridiculous. And once again, Twitter trying to act like they have medical licenses to do certain stuff because people want to play Animal Crossing that relates to severe depression and anxiety. Wow. So it's so funny to kind of see that. And we've got some more. So are we going to ignore that COVID helped with 60% of sales? Where is the data anywhere that COVID helped out with 60% of the sales? I mean, I want to know, is there a log book? Is there something that proves that? Where did we get that number? Did he just say that number out of nowhere? I mean, these excuses are absolutely amazing. Let's continue on here. Let's continue on here with this, man. I mean, what else are Switch owners gonna play? I don't know, maybe like Mario Odyssey, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, Pokemon Sword and Shield, all the other games that I talked about there. I mean, there's quite a number of games. They make all their games easy and accessible to small children and families. Boring. AC kills it because it's the most accessible games out there. Grandmas play it. I'm not trying to play with a rattle. God of War every day. This definitely has to be more of a troll comment here, because his name was really stupid too. So yeah, I thought that was just funny. More like the type of stuff that people have to say here. It's just really funny what some of the stuff here. And then another comment here says, true, but Nintendo's sales and people who buy the console literally play the exclusives. PlayStation has amazing first-party studios and titles, but cater to a wide range of gamers. See, this is the type of thing that I find very interesting that people try to put out there as if Nintendo systems or the Nintendo Switch doesn't cater to a wide range of gamers, and PlayStation caters to so much more of a wide range of gamers, that this is the reason why these exclusives sell. Not because the games are good, not because the game is unique, not because the game has so much content in there and you can play the game daily. They don't want to give credit where credit's due. They really don't. There's no really other game on the market like Animal Crossing. There really isn't. And the reason why it's doing that well is because of all the content. They never want to give the game the credit it's supposed to deserve. It's like, oh, well, it doesn't have a wide range and there isn't enough stuff here and there. There's so many games on the Nintendo Switch. You guys can see some of them behind me. There's so many games. I don't even have enough time to play all the games. And there is a wide variety of games. This narrative from Sony fans that Nintendo somehow doesn't have a wide range that appeal to the hardcore gamers, people that like to shoot, bang, oh, blah, 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 all that junk is just nonsense. I mean, can you guys just use the Google search? You guys have the internet, obviously, because you're on Twitter listening to certain things, but there is a wide range of games on all platforms. It's not just, Sony that has the widest range of games. Heck, maybe they have more games, right? Because they have more titles because the system's been out longer, and more third-party developers, especially in the West and also in Japan to a degree, a little bit, support the system. But to kind of knock out what Nintendo is doing in terms of what they've accomplished with the Switch compared to where they were, even with the Wii U and the Nintendo 3DS, the Switch has gained so much more third-party support. So many more franchises that have never been on Nintendo systems have made their debut on the Nintendo Switch, or franchises that have been gone for a very long time and they're finally coming came back. So for example, like a Doom or even a Wolfenstein or even other games like The Witcher. The Witcher franchise has never been on the Nintendo platform, and now it's on the Nintendo Switch. And we have stuff like The Outer Worlds coming, Doom Eternal is coming as well. So I don't understand this type of logic. You know, the Switch has RPGs, it has sports games, it needs Madden, but it has sports games. It's getting the new golf game that's coming out, the PGA Tour 2021K or whatever it is. So it's getting that. Yeah, it doesn't have stuff like Grand Theft Auto, but it does have open world games like Saints Row and stuff that has came over to kind of take up some of the slack. So it's not like there isn't a wide range of games for gamers to play on the Switch. And the Switch sells a lot of software. You know, just because it's not as much as the PlayStation 4 doesn't mean that we can just discredit the sales. Doesn't mean that we can just discredit Animal Crossing because it's outselling all of your precious PlayStation 4 exclusives, which I've played and they're great games and everything, but that doesn't mean Animal Crossing isn't just as good or if not better because it's outselling your games. These excuses are ridiculous. Now, if you want to read the full list of stuff, guys, check it out, link in the description below, but it might take me a while. There was a lot of comments on this, and a lot of people just aren't using really any common sense at all, or even doing a shred of research before they had something to say, but I just found it funny, so I decided to make a video on it. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this when it comes to Animal Crossing's blockbuster sales compared to all of the PlayStation 4 exclusives and things like that? Let me know in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the link in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.